Hey, it's Terry, and this is the Something Spooky review for Ready or Not. Ready or Not was released in 2019 by Fox Searchlight. It was directed by Matthew Bettinelli Oplin and Tyler Gillette. Not sure I pronounced those right, I'm sorry. They are a director duo who also directed VHS, Southbound, and are going to be directing Scream 5. So I really like VHS. Southbound was pretty good, and I'm looking forward to Scream 5 now more than I was before. So it made Ready or Not made $57 million at the box office against a budget of $6 million. It has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which honestly for me is a little high. I heard a lot of good things about this film, and I didn't like it quite as much as everybody else. I think it's a creative concept, and it has a fun execution. It does get some points for being original. But overall, it's just never as scary, tense, or even funny as it wants to be. It just never really clicked with me on any of those levels. It tries a few different things, but none of them fully land for me. So it gets off to kind of a slow start. It's a little charming. I like the editing, and it does some interesting things with the characters. But the problem is that we already know the central setup from the trailer. I don't watch a lot of trailers or read a lot of things before I see a movie, but even I was aware of the basic idea of the bride, in this case, being hunted in this game of sport by the family. That's kind of like the synopsis of the trailer. So as long as you know that much, you know that we're going to be getting there. And it takes a while to get to that point. And granted, you're meeting a lot of characters and it's starting to set up some of what is to come, but you're kind of just waiting for it to happen for a long time. And at the same time, none of the characters are really made likable fast enough. They all kind of have their problems, and I did come to really like the main character. But overall, off the bat, they don't really, you don't feel attached to them right away, and you're not really invested in what's going on with them. You're just kind of waiting for the story to get started for a while. It does a lot of cool things visually with color. I like some of the tricks it kind of does there, like with the exterior versus interior environments and the way that changes the atmosphere as the film progresses. And I really, really like, my favorite thing in the movie is the backstory of the card box and the family's tradition. I won't get too far into any spoilers or story stuff, but I just really like that central premise of what this movie is about and the way that it is explained in the lore of the story. That's definitely the best part of the whole movie. The reveal of the game concept, when that starts to happen, again, no spoilers, but that's probably the most tense aspect of the movie, because we've kind of taken a while to build to it, and we had kind of known what was going to be coming just from seeing the trailers or whatever leading into this. So when it first starts to set into motion, there is some tension as to like, well, okay, maybe now I don't know what's going to happen exactly, how this is going to go. But pretty quickly, once things start unfolding, despite the fact that they do try to throw some things in there to like mix up the pacing or shock you, overall a lot of the film is this kind of stalking around, with the family hunting the main character, and it just feels kind of flat. There's really no stakes to it. You kind of know that the main character is going to be mostly okay for a while. It's a traditional story, so like she's really the only character who's in danger, and we know that she's going to make it to the end of the story. So like the family hunting her around the house just kind of feels pointless, even though like they do try to do a few things to mix it up. Overall, it just wasn't very exciting for me. It also gets a little lost in its own humor. Like I've said at the beginning, I don't think it's actually that funny, and like it tries to be. And there are some things that are kind of like, make you grin and grimace kind of humor. It's a dark comedy for sure. But even then, it just never really is funny. It never really makes you laugh. It never really catches you by surprise with any of its gags or jokes. It's just kind of this like flat line of humor that kind of runs through the film. It's an intention that isn't fully executed. But still, the movie has some fun and creative concepts. I kind of am a sucker for cult movies, which is what this basically is. And it does some creative things with that. And the dynamics of the family are fun. I do like some of the characters. So it's not terrible. It just, for me, is very much a one-watch syndrome. Once I've seen it, I really don't feel much of a need to go back to this movie. There's not enough in the production of it, in the meanings or messages of it or anything to pull me back in again and again, or even a second time. Now that I've seen it, I kind of get it, and I know where it ends up, and it's fine. It's pretty well done, but I honestly do not quite understand all the praise that it gets. I am going to give Ready or Not a B-. I like it. If you're looking for kind of just a fun horror movie, it is worth watching. I don't think it is necessarily an outstanding horror movie or one of the feature horror movies of the last year. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, share it, and remember to follow Something Spooky. Thanks.